Well, here's the story from The Guardian. Most of you probably know this already because it was big news this morning. Kamala Harris bets on Tim Walz as running mate. We are going to win. Well, they just had a big rally in Pennsylvania, and they said a whole lot of nothing. They basically just insulted Donald Trump and J.D. Vance over and over again, talked about how they were bad. They didn't talk about anything they intend to do. I have no idea what's going on. If you go to KamalaHarris.com, the first thing you're greeted with is this: Harris Walz, with your help, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are ready to win this election. Okay, well, what are you going to bring the American people? Nothing. Literally nothing. They have nothing here. And so I just got to tell you guys, I'm seeing all these conservatives making posts, and they're laying down in the mud with the Democrats. Look, when the Democrats come out and their only campaign position is Trump is bad and J.D. Vance is weird, and the response from people on the right is, no, you're weird, that's exactly what they're hoping for. Because the response should be, prices are too high. When they say J.D. Vance is weird, you go, inflation is up. That's the response. And so I'm seeing all this and I'm like, if there are people willing to stand behind Kamala Harris in Pennsylvania, waving flags and cheering for her when she offers them literally nothing, I don't think you're going to convince those people, if anything, by just saying, no, you're weird. So I don't know. We'll break down who Tim Walz is and his crackpot policies. What say you, panel?
I just can't believe how empty this campaign is. And I think Tim Walz is an interesting choice. There's so much to unpack from today. I'm kind of trying to figure out where to start. But we had that call, right? That this obviously stage call where Kamal's in her power suit and she's talking to him, calls him buddy, and he's dressed like a regular guy. And again, to me, this just shows that all of this is a performance. It's theater. Tim Walz is interesting because he was at one point sort of a moderate Democrat and has really drifted into more progressive lanes. Like at one point, the NRA had given him a pretty good rating, and then the Parkland shooting happening, and he completely moved towards really strong gun control positions, and they eventually revoked their positive views of him. And so I think this is sort of it's interesting that this is who the Democrats have picked to be the second person on this ticket, someone who has gone from being moderate to more extreme. Again, Kamala Harris was Biden's more progressive option, his sort of olive branch to progressive members of his party. But for me, the biggest thing is the state flag of Minnesota, right? They had this state flag and they moved it to be this horrible thing. And that's kind of what I think this ticket now represents, taking things that are cool and unique to America and making them bad.
Well, I think that Tim Walz wants to trans your kids. He wants to turn America into a sanctuary nation for trans kids.
I just think these people don't actually represent anything.
Well, he does represent that. He has gone out
cult.
And he represents
whatever
the
cult says, it makes no sense. There's no logic. They keep saying the same things over and over again because it's just a cult. And the scary thing is, you look at the way you've got these, I don't know what you'd want to call them. It's a non-theistic religion, wokeness. And you can see people on X that they know they're lying. That they're intentionally playing by a script to manipulate people. They don't represent any values. They just represent this narrative. And there are tons of stupid people who just follow it for whatever reason. So Tim Walz, when he's defending these things, when he's for these things, he's just for whatever the machine tells him to be for. Mm-hmm. That's why there's no policies listed on their website.
Not a single one.
Can we just say this? We are less than 3 months out from a major election, and the Democratic Party has no platform. None.
And wouldn't that be your first priority if you had to drop in Kamala Harris? Her campaign is 16 days old now. Wouldn't that be the first thing on the website, the policies for people to rally around? No, because it's all about identity politics. And also, if they're not going to print their policies, then you have to go off the records. And Tim Walz is not endearing to moderates in America. And Kamala Harris, it's not a real position. She's sort of going to claim victory from whatever she thinks the Biden administration did well. And then she's going to point to a record as prosecutor, which we know is really controversial.